Right, just taking a quick look at how to create some custom line types that you can add to the inbuilt Autocad list. Um, just if we go onto the Home tab and just take a quick look at the inbuilt list, if we go to Properties and Line Types and click on Other and Load, and there you will see a full list of the inbuilt line types in Autocad. It is possible to make new line types similar to any of these patterns in here or based on any of these patterns on here, but what I'm going to concentrate on is how to make new line types that contain lettering, such as this one here, gas. There's others that contain text, hot water supply. I'm proposing to make a new line type called ACCO, A-C-C-O, handy for any of you who are doing site layouts and want to indicate the presence or the position of an ACCO drain. But of course, you can, if you follow this through, you can make any sort of line type you want, put any words in that you wish. So, and we'll just cancel that. Now, what we need to do to start off is find out where Autocad stores its custom line types. So if you right-click in the drawing area and select Options, and then select Files, and then expand that, and the top item in the list is your own user file. It'll have users, your username, app data, which is normally a hidden folder, roaming, Autodesk, Autocad 2016 in this case, and with 2016 it's R20.1. The next part of the path that might be different in a different version of Autocad, then followed by ENU, then followed by support. The easiest way to browse to that is to left click once and pause. Don't double click it, pause and left click again, and then you've selected the text, so just do Control C to copy it and open File Explorer. And click inside the address bar and do Control V to paste the path in there, press enter, and there you're in the support folder and you can see the full path there. So if you just type, now I'm doing this for a metric template, so I'd use the Autocad ISO the Autocad ISO line type file. Incidentally, Autocad ISO pat is for hatch patterns. The Autocad ISO.lin is for line files. I can double click this and open it here and open it, search for it, gas. And there we are. And there, the asterisk gas is the title, gas underscore line is the title of that particular line type. In fact, gas underscore line is the title. The title in the definition is always preceded by an asterisk. And following that, you have the description, which is simply a number of dashes or hyphens, 4 in this case, followed by gas, the text that's in the line type, followed by more hyphens and gas. And you can repeat this as many times as you feel you want to. This is what will appear in the list when when you're loading line type files in Autocad. And on the next line, the letter A is pretty standard in complex line types in AutoCAD. It's basically alignment, and there's a comma separates each field. The next field after the A is the length of the dash that appears in the line, which is 12.7, and then a comma to end the field. And here we have not minus, but dash 5.08. The dash is actually indicating a space, so it's a space of 5.08 length. That's the end of the field, so we have a comma, and then we open a square bracket. Inside the square brackets, we have the line type transform, and the first field inside the brackets, inside quote marks, is the text that appears in the line type, gas, and then a comma, then the field. Then standard is the text style that's used. Now you need to use a text style that exists in your AutoCAD file that you're creating the line type in, and standard is the basic file style that you generally always find by default when you open AutoCAD. And S is scale. That is the scale of the height or the size of the text, 2.54. The bigger you make that number, of course, the bigger will be the text. But we're going to stick with this default. U means upright, and the figure following it is basically an angle. Sometimes you might see R equals and followed by an angle, perhaps 0 or some other angle. If you use R, the text in the line type will invert when you draw a line from right to left, as opposed to drawing a line from left to right. When you use U, it doesn't. It remains the same way up, regardless of the line direction. X is a horizontal offset. In this case, the dash is a minus, so there's a horizontal offset of minus 2.54. Then another comma, and then Y, of course, is a vertical offset, which equals minus 1.27. Then we close the square brackets, it's the end of the transform. Then a comma to indicate the end of one field and the start of another. And then in this instance, that is not a minus. The hyphen is in fact a dash indicating a space again. And the figure following it, 6.35, is the length of space that we have for the actual text gas to sit inside. And that's it basically. Now, I'm going to compare this to the hot water supply, which has only 2 letters in it. The title and the description are similar. The dash part of the line is the same length. The length of space divided here is defined here is the same. The text, of course, is different. It's only 2 letters, HW for hot water. All the style is the same. The scale is the same. The rotation defined by U equals 0.0 is the same. The X offset is the same. The Y offset is the same. The only bit that's really different is the space for the text to fit into, because we only have 2 letters in the text, which is 5.08 as opposed to, sorry, I'm getting them mixed up, which is 5.08, yes, as opposed to 6.35 when you have 3 letters. Um, if we want to create a line type that has 4 letters in it, namely ACCO, we can calculate that. So we have, if I split the screen to C, quick calculator, and if we compare the gas line, 6.35, so I type that into the calculator, 6.35, and subtract the length of space that we have for the hot water one, the 5.08, and equals 1.27. So that's the extra space we need for an additional letter. So if I add that back onto 6.35, so that would be plus 6.35 equals 7.62. So I'll just maximize this again. Now I'm going to copy the gas one. So I'm just going to do a selection there and do Control C to copy this. We're not going to make any alterations up here. I'm just copying it. Don't remove it, whatever you do. And here, after this point here, you can add user-defined line types. If you read this, you'll find one of the important things that you notice if you upgrade to a later version, a newer version of Autocad from this, and you migrate your settings, you will also migrate any user-defined line types that you've put in here. So I'm going to do a Control V, and I'm going to change the title to ACCO, and could do a search and replace in this perhaps, but I'll just do it manually. Right, I just paused recording there and finished that row off. So down here, the text that appears on the line, need to select that and change that also to ACCO. And the only other thing I need to change is this figure here. The dash 6.35 has now got to become dash 7.62. And with that, you just click File and Save. Bear in mind that if you want to make a duplicate of this, if you do Save As, what you must do is set this to all files before you save it, and make sure you have got that .lin extension there if you want to save a duplicate file somewhere else. And so I'll just cancel that. So I have saved that file, save. If you want to add any more definitions, you should put them immediately after this one. You shouldn't really leave any spaces, just continue with any other line types that you define there. So we'll just minimize that now, and I'll close the calculator down. And we'll test it out. And so basically, if we go to the line types, click on Other, and click on load, and we should now find the ACO line type in the list, and it is there. I've made an error. I've left the word gas line in the description, so perhaps I should alter that. That's why I minimized this rather than so I'll cancel that, and I'll just go back to this, and there's the culprit there, ACO gas line. We don't need gas line in there at all. And get rid of that space, and I'll save it again and just minimize it, and we'll go through the process again. Perhaps good that I made that mistake there. It's for your benefit. Load, ACO, and there we've got rid of gas line, and click OK, and we can select it there. We need to reselect it here. Select ACO, and I'll draw a line. And there you can see that it's worked very well. I've actually need to change that offset slightly. You can see the X offset needs changing, so we can quickly do that now. This is why I minimized this rather than reducing it. So if we just look back at Autocad and just open the quick calculator again, that figure, the extra 1.27 we added on, we should increase the offset by that amount, I would say. So 1.27. So if we go back to here and change that by an additional 127. So 127, I'll just use the Windows calculator. So 1.27 plus 2.54, 3.81. So we'll change this to, sorry, that's the scale, to minus 3.81. And we'll save that. And we'll go back to Autocad, and I'll just close the calculator down, and we need to reload the line type. So other, and load, and select ACO. OK, reload the line type ACO. Click OK, and just type regen and enter. And there we are, we've corrected it. So no problems there now. So I hope you find that helpful, and that's all.